We have with us tonight a very special guest, Rabbi Aviad Neiger. He lives in Israel, in Petach Tikva, which he recently moved to just a few months ago. Prior to that, he was living in Jerusalem for over 20 years. Rabbi Neiger is the author of many good books against Zionism and against various different activities that the Zionists do. But what's special, that's not unusual. There are plenty of people that write good books against Zionism, or plenty of good Jews that do that, although Aviad has a special place amongst even those authors. What is unusual, what is a little unusual here is that Aviad Neiger, who currently is a totally Haredi Jew, which is one of the reasons why he's against Zionism, he was not born a Haredi. He was not even born religious. Aviad Neiger was born in Petach Tikva to an Israeli family, totally secular. Today, you look at him, a beard, payas, a hat, he looks more religious than me. And Rabbi Neiger, how are you this evening?
Well, great, feeling well. Baruch Hashem, everything is good.
That sounds great. I really want to hear. I'm going to ask you shortly about your most recent book. Rabbi Neiger has this book about going up onto the Temple Mount, the Har HaBayis. Now, it became a thing. Yeah, it became a thing in the last, I don't know, few years with the Zionists that they actually walk up on the Temple Mount, and they
in English it's called trend.
Trend, yes, they have this trend. Yes. Unfortunately, there are many Zionist trends that just stay there indefinitely. But yes, it's a trend that they go on the Temple Mount. Now, what's strange about this is that the Temple Mount, for thousands of years, Jews knew that you're not allowed to go on there. You're not allowed. We are prohibited to go on the Temple Mount because of its holiness. And how ironic, the Zionists that claim to love our land, our holy land, the holiest, most sacred piece of it that's so holy and so sacred that we cannot even set foot on it, that's where they target for their trends. That's where they want to go. That's typical Zionist, a typical Zionist, where you take what the Judaism says and you just twist it to mean the opposite of what it does.
Right, to sacrilegious.
Sacrilegious, yes, it's actually sacrilegious, right, as opposed to those that don't go on it on the Temple Mount that are plain religious, exactly. So, Rabbi Neiger, please tell us a little about your life before you became religious and what made you change your mind about Judaism.
Well, first thing, Yishar Koach for letting me speak at your show, Kvod Achsania. And the second thing, that I'm sorry if my English won't be that fluent, and I will start now. The first thing that I can about to say, that the reason that I decided to be a Baal Tshuva is because when I was a secular Jew, I used to go and do walking, and then I used to speak with Hashem and say, thank you for this, thank you for that. It's something, inner. It's my inner thoughts, my inner, how do you say it?
Spirit?
Yes, in the spirit, yes. And then at some point I decided to, because I'm grateful for what he did for me, I should also thank him in my action, not only by talking, because he gave me so much. I should give him back what the least that I can do to know how to keep Shabbos, how to put tefillin, what that I need to do as a Jew to thank him, to be grateful for what he did for me. So in the area that I live, my parents used to live, it's a lot of national religious people. So I went to the synagogue.
The settler types.
Yes, national religious, but not settler. It's Petach Tikva. It's not a settlement.
Okay, but the settler ideology kind of thing.
No, because at the Mizrahi, they are there are a lot of groups. They're
Right.
not.
Right, but
They're not unified.
right, but national religious is not the same as Mizrahi. Dati Leumi is national religious, right?
In the national religion, you can find Mizrahi,
Okay, fine.
Haredi Leumi, all kind of
Okay.
Gushnikim, Aramornikim. There are a lot of
Okay.
fine nuance. And then they told me there's a place in Jerusalem that's called Machon Meir. It's for Balei Tshuva. So I went to Jerusalem and started learning over there. And it was, what do I know as about, my background is not, I don't know a lot of Torah at my background. So I went there and started learning. And it's mesmerizing, and you don't know because they're mixing things with other things, and you don't know when they falsify things. So
Wait, Machon Meir was a Zionist religious
yes,
school.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
can you give me an example of what the falsified things were? Like an example of what they taught.
Oh, okay. One of the most maybe known or unknown things that for instance, according to the Rambam, why do you say Hallel in Hanukkah?
Oh, so let me guess. They said the reason why you say Hallel. So for our
Yes.
audience that doesn't know the background
Hanukkah.
here, yes. So Hanukkah is the holiday that we celebrate because the oil lasted 8 days. The Zionists made up this thing, this falsification of something that Maimonides said. They kind of read it maybe when the book was upside down, but they say
they took the 3 halacha and
yes.
turned it into 1
Yes,
halacha.
yes, I wrote about this in my book, actually. The Zionists made up a story that the Maimonides said the reason for Hanukkah is because the Jews ended up gaining sovereignty over the land from the Syrian Greeks, which doesn't say such a thing anywhere, but yes, that's what the Zionists teach. They make stuff up. Yes, good, okay.
Yeah. What else?
How did you know that was fake? When did you realize that was fake?
Well, once you open the book, the Rambam, and you read it inside, you say, just a minute, it's not exactly as they tell you.
Right.
Or, for instance, the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Ketz Megule.
Oh, yeah, talk about that one. That one's funny. That one is funny. Go ahead.
Yes, it's also fun. Yeah, so they read out loud the Rashi, but you open up the Maharsha, and then you see Maharsha is speaking about when it's when the trees give fruits every day.
Right. Let me explain that to our audience.
Yes.
Listen, Herzl, Ben Gurion, they were completely secular, actually anti-Semitic Zionists. They hated
They didn't care about the Torah, what the Torah said.
Right, they didn't care about anything. Then came the religious
Zionist, Cook.
Those Zionists, Cook, right, these guys. And they kind of tried, unsuccessfully, to fit Judaism into Zionism. And although there are so many people, well, big deal. The Christians tried to fit Jesus into Judaism, right? That was their whole idea, that they are fulfillment of the prophecies and of the Jewish prophecies. And today you have Jews for Jesus, and you actually had Jews for Zionism, they should call themselves. And they tried, just like Christian missionaries try to fit Christianity into the Jewish scriptures, the Zionists try to fit Zionism into the Jewish scriptures. And they really came from the evangelicals. The evangelicals were Zionists before the Jewish Zionists were. And what you're about to say, Rabbi Neiger, that this thing with Kate's Megillah, what you're about to explain, the evangelicals said it way before the religious Jewish Zionists. Yes, it's an evangelical Christian thing. Yes. And
I would like to see that.
Gladly. It's in my book. You have to get my book, but it's an English book.
Okay.
The evangelicals said it. Go ahead, Rabbi Aviad. Tell us what they taught you.
Well, they taught me that because now the land is giving fruits, and there are a lot of farm culture and all this thing. So they are, how do you say, people are, you see the fruits and the vegetable, oh, it's getting very successful. So this is the Geula.
Right. It says in our books, our tradition, that when the Holy Lands will
Give
produce
her the
its
fruits.
fruits, that's the important part. Its fruits, then that's a sign that the redemption is coming. The problem is that in the same tradition that says that, it says that it doesn't mean
That
sabra
it's the Geula
sabra,
now.
sabra oranges, or if you put irrigation into the land, you'll manage to get out some fruits. What it means is miraculously large and miraculously
Yes.
frequent fruits coming out
Every day.
every day, not seasonal, but daily. And the way it was in the days of the scriptures, the miracles that we read about in the scriptures in our tradition regarding the fruits being produced by the land in its holiness, in its
Before Chet Adam HaRishon.
yes, and that's what it means. Yet the Zionists kind of just tore that part out of our tradition. The Zionists, in order to justify Zionism, they tear parts out, put parts in, read things upside down and right side up,
Falsifying things.
falsifying things. Yeah. So
Censor.
you noticed this on your own. So you're saying you went to this Machon Meir, the Zionist school.
Yes, for they try to, how do you say, to keep you asleep. They teach you and they try to keep you asleep. Everything is okay.
Hypnotized, yes.
If we have problems from now to then, it's okay. It's not that a biggie. Still we're heading in the Geula. They don't call it, for time to time they call it, it's Tahalichei Geula. It's a process of the Geula. Everything they have, if not something going their way, it's the process of the Geula. It's not we have the Geula, but still we have process inside the Geula that still we need to come till we get to the Geula Shlema. Yeah, we have fallbacks, but it's still we are in the Geula. It's also they say we're in Yomot HaMashiach as well.
Yeah. So Rabbi Aviad, what did it ever happen that somebody, maybe you or another student, would raise their hand in class and say, but Rebbe, that's not what it says. Did anybody ever do that?
Yes, from time to time. And then it's like a group. It's a pressure group. It's like
peer pressure.
Yes, peer. So it's okay. Everything is they're gonna give you this tzaddik say, the Maharal say like we say, or the Kuzari say what we say, and we can go on. They like they ממציאים דברים.
Right, they invent things. But then
invent things as they go.
And then if you look up those sources, they're not there either. So you're like down the whole rabbit hole.
So there is this point of time that you say, listen, or you're trying to, how do you say, trying to kid yourself, or you're trying to kid me. It doesn't work. You can't, how to say, you can't cheat me anymore. It's not. It's not going. It's stuck. There's nothing. It's all a big lie. You don't have nothing really to say. Everything is falsified, and you you made things up, and you're not really. You don't. They say, how would I say? They not. הם לא נאמנים לשיטה שלהם. They say things, they teach one thing, but the way they live, it's totally different thing. They can tell you, don't go out of the country. It's a mitzvah to stay in the land of Israel, but they can go to vacation abroad and everything is okay.
So there were two things that you saw that bothered you there. One was that what they were teaching you were lies.
Yes.
And two, they're hypocrites anyway.
Yes.
Right. Now, hypocrisy, stuff like that, you could find people that are sinners in all types of Jews. You could find that. But at least the other Jews, even if they sin, they know what the truth is. These people, it's like another religion. I want to ask you, I have a question. I can imagine some kids in your position thinking, all right, well, if this is a lie, this is Judaism, and therefore Judaism is a lie, and I don't want to be religious at all. Did such a thought ever go through your mind? They're teaching you this is Judaism, and you see it's a joke.
Yeah, so I say I didn't become about tshuva for them. It's not something that I did for them. It's something that I did for me. I wasn't looking for pleasing them.
Okay, so what did you do
for
from there?
Hashem. So I start learning again from things that they try to teach me, and I saw that everything is falsified.
Did you go to another yeshiva?
I was in the kollel back then. It was after I was married, and I was in the kollel, and I looked things up. And then someone came over to Shilshidis, my place, and he told me that he was from the National Religious, also from Machon Meir, and he told me a couple of things, and I said, listen, you're wrong. I can show you in the books. What you're saying.
And this was a rabbi?
No, this is a person from the how to say Talmud.
A student.
Yes, a student. And the student told me, I'm going to tell you about you to the rabbis.
Oh, they're going to
you can go ahead and tell whatever you want. So then he arranged a meeting between me and one of the rabbis. That his name is Uri Sharky.
Sharky. Oh,
yes.
Oh no, they're real Dati Lumi. Sure, I know who he is. Oh my
yes,
God.
I was one of his Talmidim. I was a Ben Bait.
Sharky?
A Ben Bait.
Really? You're kidding me.
No, I'm not.
He's like a settler.
A real piece.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Yes.
Some of the stuff that he puts out, I saw. Oh gosh, wow. Okay, you know what?
And a lot of people is very, I would say, his personality is very alluring.
Charismatic.
Yes, charismatic. Yes, he's very seductive. He's like but he's a clown.
He's a real Kooknik.
A real Kooknik miniature, something like that.
I hear you.
Yes.
Miniature, yeah.
So we sat down.
Tell me about your conversation between, because he's a pretty famous
we
guy.
sat down, and I told him, listen, over here you can see that Rashi says we're in the Galus. So he said, yes, this is according to one sector of the Haredim, but we go according to the Maharal. So I just say, just a minute. If it's not only, so what? If Rashi says so, it's Rashi. If it's according to Rashi, we're in the Galus. So we're in the Galus. It's not a Geula at all. And then I told him, according to who? So he told me, according to Maharal, Netzach Yisrael Perek Aleph. So I opened it up and I start reading it. And then I told him, well, if you read it in this way, it's not that we're in the Geula, we're still in the Galut. You need to read it like this, not like the way you try to say it is. And then he told me, I don't want to speak with you anymore. a lot of issue, not only this issue, but a lot of issue. I don't want to speak with you anymore. You have Dikdukei Anius. This is what he told me.
But he didn't answer you.
Yes, he didn't. He just
means like a poor person has to kvetch a little here, a little there. He has to be very picky and careful, and
like I'm small-minded or something like that. I say, what does it mean, small-minded? It's the Maharal explains over here that we're not. Yes, what he described over there is not the reality that we live in right now, and the rest of the book is also not. It's not the Yamot HaMashiach. We're not there. It's not the Rambam. It's not the Maharal. It's no nothing. So what are you trying to sell us?
You fell in with Sharky.
Yes, it's a very, how would I say, it's like a klipa. You need to go over a klipa.
A klipa, yeah,
Yes.
like an unholy force.
Yes. Yes.
You know, there are other people like that. There are so many people that started off like with guys like Shirky and people like him. That do you know Avram Chazan?
Yes, I know him.
You know him. He also
Yes.
he wrote a couple of books, also a couple of Sforim, which I have, and they're
Yes.
very good. Also, he seems that he was also by Sharky and these guys.
He was in Bnei Akiva more.
Oh yeah.
Yes, this is what I remember from his book. He did this conversation with Sherky, but it didn't went well because it didn't because when they see that he claimed Sherky claims that when you don't if you don't appreciate our rabbis, so I don't want to talk to you. That's it, and they stop the conversation. This is the way they evading from speaking with you to seek the truth. They say, okay, I don't want to talk to you anymore. That's it, and we can go on with our regular lies and falsifying everything. It's okay. We don't want to talk with your kind because you don't speak with us with any respect. This is the first claim they're gonna say in order to avoid the conversation.
Yeah, I know. I've had that experience.
The next level.
When you ask them something they can't answer, they get very upset. Yes. And it's not just that. When you like when you tell them that, like Rabbi Cook, like, where did he get this stuff from? There's no sources for it in Judaism. There's things that are really, really unhinged. And you just ask them, like, what is the source? You know, they get upset. What do you mean? Our great rabbi said it, and that's fine. He said it, no problem. Give me a bad source at least. Give me something, you know. At least Shirky was giving you a messed up version of the Maral or a messed up version of Rashi. By Rabbi Cook, they have nothing, absolutely nothing. It's okay. What did you do after that? Where'd you go from there? This is a fascinating.
So Baruch Hashem, I went to, one day I was in Mea Shearim, I was praying in this shul, and I over there look at the stable, there were a couple of, alonim, and I found this contrast called the Torah Segalus, and Efes Biltecha, and I open the books, and I see the contrastim, and I see...
Who wrote these contrasts in this literature that you found?
I think it's Otzar Yadus. It's this publication called Otzar Yadus.
Okay.
And then I
anti-Zionist publications.
Yes, I don't see it as anti-Zionism. I look at it as pro-Torah. It's for the Torah. Yes, it's Rambam wasn't anti-Kara'i.
100%.
Yavetz wasn't anti-Shabtai. It was for the Torah.
Yes, I always say that. Yes, the Nevi'im weren't they weren't identified as being anti-Avodah Zarah.
Yes, we weren't anti. We're not doing it because we're anti. They try to picture us as something that they're the good thing and we are the anti. Like there's matter and there's antimatter. We're trying to we are something bad.
We're the misnagdim, like we're the
trying to picture us as something bad. We're not. We're Baruch Hashem. We are pro-healthy Jews, pro-Torah. We are for the Torah. We're not doing it for. We're doing it for the Shem. We're doing it for the Torah. We're not doing it for because we are anti of something.
Yes, I always tell people when they say I'm an anti-Zionist, I know Zionism is anti-me.
Yes. So it's anti-Torah.
Yes.
So where was that?
So you saw this literature in Mea Shearim.
Yes. So I opened it. Was about the Shlosha Shavuos, and I read.
Those are the three. That's our Talmudic tradition that tells us it's prohibited.
3 oaths.
Right. That's prohibited to have a state
not allowed
of Israel before the Messiah comes. And I just want to make it clear for people, because I know the Zionists even twist this. What the state of Israel is prohibited to have. Nobody, the Messiah would never think of making this. There are so many reasons to oppose the state of Israel that exists. There's so many reasons why it's anti-Judaism, not merely because it's the wrong time. What Israel is now, we will never have, we never wanted, we never will want, and there's no reason why any Jew should want such a thing. Even if there wouldn't be any prohibitions, there's no reason anybody should want it. All Jews would oppose it even without that. However, on top of everything, even the most innocuous, most best well-intentioned, most beneficial for Jews state would still be prohibited, and it would be a terrible tragedy, and it's against our religion to do it. And certainly there is no, despite what the Zionists would have you believe, the Zionists and the evangelical Christians, despite what the Zionists and the evangelical Christians would have you believe, we have never been praying for what Israel is today. Never, ever. We are praying for a messianic renewal of the world, not for what they have here. So you saw that literature.
Yes, in Ikefta de Mashiach, it says that there was going to be a Malchus of Minus.
Right.
So
but we do know
we didn't want this. We didn't want a Malchus of Minus. It's a meaning. It's minimum Picosin. So again, it's about the Shlosh Shavuos and Gezerah Sagalus, and we are it's from the Rishonim. I say for myself, I try to remember that I've seen more than just what was in this this contrast, and I told myself also that it's not in the right. For me, it wasn't in the right order, because I know there's a Rishonim and Achronim. I know there's Ashkenazim, Sfaradim, Yemenites, all kind of tzaddikim, the Chachamim of Israel, of Judaism. So I started to arrange what I have, what I knew, what I have, and then I added some more things that from the books that I known and looked up in more books, and I found more and more, and then it became Yalkut Ishbati Etchem. And I did it for myself. I started to doing it for myself, not for anyone else. You know,
what is it? What is your Yalkut Hishbati Eschem? Tell us.
It's how do I say it? It's a likud of the Rishonim and Achronim about Shlosh Shavuos.
And might I say that it's an excellent job. Well done.
Well, yes, it's
and it goes in order. Rishonim, Achronim, and then it goes personality by personality. Recently, I saw you put out from the Ben Ish Chai, right?
Yes, something I'm about to publish for the Lula. It's the Ben Ish Chai and his Talmidim.
If somebody wants to obtain these books and these kuntresim, where can they get them?
Well, if they live outside of the land of Israel, they can download it from the website of Yalkut Ishbati Etchem.
What's the website address?
It's www.yhe.center.
CENTER?
Yes, like in America, not like London.
Right, yes.
Yes.
Why, right. www.yhe, that stands for Yalkut Hishbati Eschem.
Yes.
YHE.center.
Yes.
.com.
No, .center, that's it.
.center, that's it. So
yes.
YHE.center.
Yes.
Okay.
And over there are a lot of...
And I do recommend people visit that site because he has a lot of
it grew to be something very... I can tell about the website if it's possible. So so in the website, I have this parts of the Yalkut Ishbati Etchem. Now it's 14 parts. And afterwards, there's a lot of contrasting that I wrote about all kind of subject according to, it's divided according if it's Talmud Torah, if it's Sugyos in the Rambam, Sugyos in Gelut Vegeula, all kind of Yeshuv Eretz Yisrael, all those Sugyos. And then afterwards, there is this archive, a big archive of all the books that is written against Zionism. Some of what I have, you can free download it. So you can.
What are some of the books that you have online?
Oh, well, the books of the tzaddikim that was written before the catastrophe of the land of the state of Israel, and some about the period of the Holocaust, and then the book that was written after the how to say the Hakamas Hamdina, and there are a page about the books of the Satmar Rebbe Veil Moshe, and there is prayers, a lot of good things. Then there are part of articles that I wrote, that I'm writing, and then there's a part about me. And if someone want to get the books, can get it.
Okay.
Yes. And there's also videos and video lessons and so on.
And the video, what language are the video lessons in?
In Lashon HaKodesh.
Okay, fine.
We try.
Okay, so, and this is not your full-time job, is it? Is this?
Yeah, I have a family. I need to provide. I have a family in Baruch Hashem.
Right. And recently, your most recent book is about going on the Har HaBayis, right?
Yes. That explains the first part of the book explains that gives out the periods of what the tzaddikim said about Har HaBayis. That they didn't go inside Har HaBayis, and then they always, for let's say from the Tkufat HaGoanim till let's say in the middle of Akibush Ottomani, they used to go to Mount Olives, and over there they used to pray looking up to the Har HaBayis. This is where they used to go to look on the Har HaBayis. And from the certain parts of, because they were, how do they say, the Tzalbanim didn't allow Jews to enter at all to Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
This was the period when the Rambam lived.
Mm-hmm.
The Jerusalem was under occupation of the Tzalbanim. So when they tried to say that the Rambam went to the Har HaBayis and prayed over there, נכנסתי לבית הגדול והקדוש, first thing, it's not the Bet Mikdash. They tried to say already it's the Har HaBayit, and he didn't went there because he went to the Har HaZeitim. This is the first thing that
so you're saying this whole business is more Zionist forgeries.
Yes.
Distortions.
Yes, and what else? They take a guess of the Rashbash, and they cut the end of it, and that way it appears like he went to Har HaBayit. But if you read the rest of the Igeres, you say, just a minute, he wasn't there. He was outside of Jerusalem, outside of the walls of Jerusalem.
In other words, he went to visit it or to see it, but he didn't go on.
He didn't, because the Jews all the time was allowed to get inside the old city, what we call today the old city. Yes. And afterwards, the second part is how they falsified one person that decided to wrote a pamphlet about showing how the Rishonim and Achronim said it's okay to go to the Har HaBayis, and he gave this quotations, and I look up the quotation. Everything is falsified. He does a mixture of the paragraph, and then he put 3 dots. And when he other places he put 3 dots, and then what you find out in what he took out means exactly the opposite. It's not what he tried to say.
Yeah,
yes, it's all kind of mishmash. It's very it's like he's playing with, he's trying, how to say, they shoot the arrow and then they paint the target. So everything will look okay.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter
It's like
is,
the mashal of the Maggid from Dubin.
right, they paint the arrow and then they shoot the
They
arrow.
shoot the arrow.
The truth of the matter is, where they're painting the target isn't even where the arrow hits. They make a fake arrow also.
Yeah, so
Everything is fake. Oh, tell me, have you gotten a lot of threats? How do these Zionists react to this?
well, the more active Jews, active Zionists, national religious, well, they not they send me emails, threatening emails. They try to say all kind of bad things about me. I tell them, do you have something, לענות לעניין, do you have something substantial to ask me, not just saying nasty things, because besides saying nasty things, you don't have nothing. Please give me an example. Where was I wrong? And I will see it together. If I'm wrong, I will say, that's okay. I was wrong over here. But you don't say nothing. You just say, you just dismiss me and that's it.
Right.
It's like they had everything in national religious. They're not, it's not according to the brain. It's not, there's no sechel at all. It's all regesh.
Emotion. Yeah.
Only emotional. They're very emotional people. Yes. If they said, they told me that I'm kfui to, I have I'm kfui tova.
No gratitude.
Yes, I don't have gratitude because I started over there. I started with the national religious, and I supposed to stick to their how to say slogans that they decided.
So in other words, if somebody started with the Chilonim, if he wasn't religious, then he became national. He's not allowed to become religious now.
Yes, I asked them. So, well, how come you didn't reject me when I come from the secularism?
That's right.
It's okay.
Of course, I talk to the Chilonim. Yeah, why block over there? So what did they say? So
they say, don't. Yeah, how they say what they always used to say. When someone is raising the finger and asking them a question, they say, don't go there.
Don't go there.
Yes, it's
yeah. Yeah.
When you bring up the sechel, they say we don't want to go to the sechel. We want to stay with the regesh.
Right. Do you have a lot of sichsuchim, a lot of debates or arguments with these people?
Well, they try, but it's fruitless to speak with them. They're not. When someone is starting to talk to you about the shtiyot and they're trying to say to you all those nasty things without any, without time v'reach, so you say to them, okay, I see where you go. I don't have time to waste on you. I have a lot of things to do. It's a waste of time to talk to them. For those who want to look for the answer, I have a lot of people that talk to me. They thank me, they look up the things and they say, you're right. They lie to us and they feel gratitude and they go on and sending to other people the things that I've wrote and still writing. And for instance, a couple of weeks ago, there's a Talmud in the yeshivas of Yeshivas Bnei Akiva. It's not a really yeshiva. Is
right.
Today's
yeshiva.
Yes, he's 14 years old.
Right.
He started to learn Vayol Moshe in the age of 12, and he is also so he called me and he asked me to thank me about the things that he saw on my website because it's for everybody to look up. And Baruch Hashem is he asking me questions and I give him answers. There are a lot of there is a kid from 11 years old from a settlement. There is another kid, Bachur, age of 18, and a lot of itorarus, not only in this age, it's also elderly ages, and I try to reach out to everybody there is.
You find there's a lot of these Zionist type people, including, or maybe even mostly, you tell me, amongst the settlers and these types that are
Yes,
going away from their approach and going more to a traditional Jewish approach.
yes, but because they live in settlements, they don't go out of there. Some they still have families, and and there's some are still kids, and they're still with their parents.
Mhm.
We need to open up centers for those people. Now, all other in the land of Israel, in each and every place, so people can come and they have a place to be with, to have the learning and the teachings of the Revelation. And by that, we can do a lot of communities, and a lot of communities will share, how they say, will spread the light.
These
Because I give lessons in Yahud, I give lessons in Tel Aviv, I give lessons in Moshavim like Yagel, a
who
lot of
comes to
places.
these lessons? Who comes to these lessons?
All kind of, I give lessons in settlements. Who
Oh
comes to
my
those?
gosh, they let you in, they don't kill you?
Yes, they don't stone me, Baruch Hashem. And
What do they do? Do the parents of these kids know what you're doing?
some of the parents are coming by themselves. One of the lessons, there was this so-called rabbi who
Mhm.
starts to try to poke me, and he asked me all kind of questions.
Provoke you, uh-huh.
I provoke you.
Right.
So I open up the Gemara. I ask him, do we need to do a tshuva and masim tovim in order for the redemption? So he
Mhm.
said, no, it's okay. We can have a redemption without tshuva and masim tovim. So I said, okay, let's open up the Gemara and let's see the sugia, let's see the shakal and Tari of the Tanaim. So we open up and I start reading the Gemara, and it's eventually it says that also, and I read the Maharsha, and over there we discovered that all we need to do a tshuva and masim tovim in order for the redemption. So I ask again this so-called rabbi, so what do you need to do a tshuva, yes or no? So he tells me, oh yes, we need to do a tshuva. So I ask him, so you were wrong. So no, I wasn't wrong. I said, but you just say the opposite of what you're saying before that. They 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 live the lie, even they know they are lying. They keep on. So how do I say it's very confusing for them to understand. It's very easy to them to still live with the lie.
Right.
But yes,
when
but some want to get out of the lie. They want they fed up with the lie they give them. So
those people, yeah, we have to be there to help them. No question about
yes,
it. If somebody wants help, we have to be there to help them. I know that the rabbis of these Kuknik rabbis were telling them that the settlements will never be dismantled, and never. They had all sorts of proofs from, I don't know, again, they're probably reading upside down. And then when Gush Katif came,
yes,
there are people that didn't even pack their bags when they told them they're coming to evacuate them. They
yeah,
literally did not pack their bags because the rabbis told them. The rabbis told them, no, we know it's not going to happen. This is our religion. It's not going to happen.
yeah.
And then they were so disillusioned afterwards. They had a big downfall. They were so disillusioned because they saw that their religion is wrong. And
Yes, but what those rabbis, so-called rabbis, had figured out that after a while, after a couple of years, people will forget,
yeah, yeah,
and the young people won't know about their how they screw up.
it's true. It's absolutely true. And you know what? It's so easy. All they have to do, it's all they have to do is stick to the Torah, and they wouldn't have these problems. It's weird about the avodah zarah of Zionism. Normally, we have a yetzer. Everybody has yetzer hara and a yetzer tov, and then the yetzer hara tells you give up olam haba, get olam hazeh. The yetzer Tov says, no, Olam Haba is more important than Olam Hazeh, right? That's basically how it works.
Yes.
Now, I wonder what the Yetzer Hara of these Zionists are telling them. It's not telling them, be a Zionist because you get Olam Hazeh. They're not getting Olam Hazeh. They're getting killed. They have danger. Their children are getting slaughtered. I saw interviews with some of these settlers who had close relatives that were killed, and they're like, no, this is our homeland and our land, and it's worth
It's
it.
the part of
Crazy
the
this
it's
is.
the part of the Geula. It's talichei Geula.
You
Yes,
know,
this is why they
yes.
trying to tell themselves.
I always wondered when I was a kid in yeshiva and they taught us about Makriv B'nai L'Moilech, where people would sacrifice
Yes.
their own children to the Moilech idol. They would burn the kid alive. And
Yes.
and
They
what
have drums.
right in the arms. And what would induce a parent to do this to their kids? But then you see the settlers that are bringing their kids out there and putting them in danger all the time. For what? Is this any different?
It's not. It's something the Gemara in the Sanhedrin Yerushalmi explains. It's exactly the same thing. Everybody, when they ask me that I will explain what is the Zionism, I explain according to the Sanhedrin Yerushalmi about the Sugya. Rabbi Yochanan asked, what is Molech? So he said, התורה כתבה בלשוננו. What is Molech? Molech, it's a melech. It's avodah zarah that you don't give the stick or the stone virtues of a god. You give them virtues of a king. Molech, Mishon Melech.
Right.
You don't say the stone, you say the stone is the king. You say the stick is the king. And for the king, you sacrifice your kids. This is the Avodat HaMolech. This is what the Gemara and the Sanhedrin speak about. So it's they don't sacrifice because to the stick or the stone because they have some kind of heavenly powers. Because it's called, you called it in over here in the it's called mamlachtiyut. It's a mamlachti.
Statism, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
This is the when they say for in national religion there's this they say you have to be a mamlachti.
Mamlachti.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the molech. It's not when I explain people this is this Gemara, and then they say, just a minute, this is what we are doing. Instead of working Hashem, we're working sticking stones. We claim, yes, it's avodah zarah of the, we turning the Bibi or Rosh HaKoifrim into avodah zarah. This is the avodah zarah.
It's no joke, and there are those that their wars. I've heard them say. I was once doing a radio broadcast about it was Barack Obama's Iran deal. That was the topic, and the topic came. It came up to the issue of us not, living safely and not antagonizing people, not provoking people. And some lady calls, lady in Queens, not even in a settlement. She says, what do you mean? Wars are great. If we wouldn't have fought the war in 1967, we wouldn't get the kotel. We have the kotel, so it's worth a war. So I told her, number one, if we wouldn't fight wars, we wouldn't need any kotel because we would have the Beis HaMikdash. The Bar Yonim wanted to make war. That's why we don't have a Beis HaMikdash. We wouldn't need it. That's number one. Number two, I said, do you understand what you're saying? I said 1,000 Hatzalah workers would be Machal Shabbos 1,000 times each if there's a 1% chance that they could save somebody from dying, right? Is the Koisel more important than Shabbos? You're willing to go to war and give up lives and have people killed for what?
Sanhedrin Ratzchanit.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's a whole, and this started with Rabbi Kook. Before him, everybody knew mitzvahs were good, averis were bad. It's very simple, our religion. Mitzvahs good, averis bad. Very simple. Then he came, no. These people that are koifrim, they do averis and Machal Shabbos, but deep down, they're really, if they're Zionists, only if they're Zionists. If you're not a Zionist, then you're a regular kafir. If you're a Zionist kafir, then you're working for Hashem, and even though you don't know it, and inside you're good, and outside, I don't know why, inside they're good, inside they just hate Hashem and they hate the Torah, but it doesn't matter. For some reason they're good, and it's like the donkey of Mashiach, and once you it's like arithmetic. 1 + 1 is 2. Very simple, and everything is built on that. By the way, you know where it says 1 + 1 is 2 in the Torah? They asked, the Bnei Yissaschar says, where does it say math in the Torah? He says, it's in the Torah 1 + 1 is 2. It says, Vayer vayvoker yom echad, one day later was Yom Sheni. So you had 1 + 1 is 2, another one is 3, another one is 4. But if you don't believe that 1 + 1 is 2, now it's a hefgewelt. Anything goes. If 1 + 1 is 3, then anything goes. And these guys, the basic idea, mitzvahs are good, averis are bad, tzaddikim are people that do mitzvahs, rishonim are people that do averis. Everything else is commentary. Now you live in a hefgewelt, and anything goes. So now you could fight wars. Wars. For what? For a kaisel. Wars. People should be killed. It doesn't make any sense. And it's worth it. And it's worth it. Sure. Fight a whole war for it's crazy.
It's they see that they don't care about lives. They care only about the state. It's like Balak told Bilam, see what they're trying to uproot. They're trying to uproot Shvakim, the metropolitan, the city. Look what I have. I have Shvakim, and this is what they're trying to uproot. This is the Balak saying to Bilam. So this is the same how to say set of mind of this of those according to the national religious. They care more about stones and a piece of land. They don't care how many lives they have to sacrifice for the Molech in order to get this thing.
And this whole thing they got from the secular Zionists. This is Leumius. This is nationalism. Yes. This is that a person's botel b'shishim in the state that Ben Gurion made up mamlachtiyut is over here.
Trumpeldor.
Sorry, what?
Trumpeldor, Yimach Shmo.
Trumpeldor, yes. Trumpeldor, Yimach Shmo. He was one. He really didn't say it, but the Zionists have this legend that when he was dying, he said, "It's good to die for your land," and his blood went into the ground while he was killed, and a flower came out. It fertilized the land. This crazy stuff that you would think would have a person that wakes up in the morning, puts on tefillin, opens a chumash, opens a Gemara, learns Torah. They should be smarter than this. But it just shows you that even it's Torah's nasas like some hamoves. That's mamish what happens. Once you start with the stuff like what Shirky is doing, the Rashi, the Maral, the read things backwards and not forwards, mamish the Torah becomes some hamoves. Mamish some hamoves. Yeah. Literally, it's worth dying. Some hamoves, literally. And they think it's a mitzvah to die for their.
Yeah, so it's if something think otherwise from the way they see things is galusi, and we're not in the part of the redemption because we are galutim. We don't have the so-called high level of seeing things.
Rabbi Cook said you have to see. You see things. He says you see. Yes, that's what they say. You see. And other people, they just don't see. They see things.
Yes, that's
people who see things. You know what they do with those people?
Yeah, they put them away.
They hear things. They see things. Rabbi Cook said he heard, God talking to him. He wrote in his diary. Supik Navi Sheker. He asked. He hears voices telling me, calling me. They hear voices. They see things.
Like Rabbi Akiva Porush wrote in the Akdama to Kol HaShofar. That Cook and his Talmud, the Charlap, are like Hevel Nevi'im.
Yes. And the Sfardi, Rabbi Yosef Yedid, in Shuvas Sheris Yosef, he calls Cook Hanovi. He says the Navi because he just made stuff up. He just made, it's not even, he wasn't even Megal Upanim B'Torah like Halacha. He wasn't even that good. It's not like he did like Shirky, or Maral, or Rashi, whatever. No, he just said stuff that he sees and he stole all of this stuff, by the way, from 19th century Goyish and nationalist philosophers. And they know it. It's not a secret. His own son said this.
Yes.
So some of his essays was based on 19th century nationalism. And he took this Goyish stuff and he wrote it in nice flowery
Kabbalic way, not Kabbalic, but
in a mysterious way. And now they
yes,
say, oh, must be Kabbalah and
yes.
mysteries, and we don't see what he sees. This is
It's Torah Tasod. We don't understand Torah Tasod. He does. Everybody's like, you can, when you say it's according to the Torah Tasod, you can put everything inside, every kfira, everything, like the Shabtaim used to do.
Exactly, and
still doing.
Meir Arik said he's the Shapsik.
Yes, he's the
yes. And you know, and what's the maskana? What's the conclusion? Do they gain olam hazeh from this? No. The maskana is go to the territories, live in the most dangerous place, put your children in danger, and if chas v'shalom something happens to you or to the children, well, it's worth it because now we have more land, or we're defending our land. We have the kaisa. What are they, crazy? Fight a war over land? Is that nuts? Can I tell you a vart? And then we could stop. I heard this from Reb Shimon Schwab. Oh. He told me this story. He said a vart once in his shul, a very good vart on Hanukkah. It says Al Hanisim Al Hapurkan, etc. And there was a shmad, and they wanted Lashkichim Teresechel V'Mechuker Itzanecha. Hashem came in. Rav Tos Rivam, Dan Tos Dinam, Masata Giborim Biad Chaloshim, period. And the war was over. V'yachar Kain, it says, Bo Banechel et Virveisecha, right? His question is, why do you need the words V'yachar Kain? Those two words. You don't need it. You could say, they made the war, Masata Giborim Biad Chaloshim, Bo Banechel et Virveisecha. What's the V'yachar Kain? Everything is V'yachar Kain, and then afterwards again V'yachar Kain and V'yachar Kain. Why do you need those words? So he said like this. It's his word. He said, Chas v'sholom, we should not think that the reason why they fought the war on Hanukkah was in order to get the Beis HaMikdash back. For even the Beis HaMikdash, you would never fight a war. One Jewish life to put in danger, not worth it. Pikuach nefesh, much more important. Let them keep the Eitzim Vavonim, even the Beis HaMikdash, right? Only one thing we would go to war for. Because they made shmad. Now we pull out the swords. Now we're going to go to war. And for that, they fought, and only for that. Then, after Hashem made a nes, the war was over. No more danger. Now there's no more war. Only because there wasn't a war. They didn't have to fight their way in. It was safe. That was his vort. Okay? Very good vort. Now, as you know, in Eretz Yisrael, you may not know, but by the Goyish countries, they have a Choga the same time that comes out Hanukkah, right?
Yes.
So Rav Schwab got in the mail, he told me this, after he said this vart, a Christmas card, a card. On the cover, it said, to our dear friend Rav Schwab, Merry Christmas. Opened up, it said, from your good friends, and had like 3 terrorists there. I don't remember exactly. Let's say Saddam Hussein, Yasser Arafat, then maybe Nasser. I don't know who it was. And they were, yeah, sure. But what do you mean? You say that we shouldn't fight a war for our land? You're an Arab supporter. You're a terrorist. This is the attitude.
It's the regesh. It's the regesh.
It doesn't
make sense. It's no sechel. Only regesh.
People tell me, this lady that called up, she said, good, we fought. Now we have the kais. And I told her, is more important than Shabbos. For Shabbos, 1,000 people would be Machal Shabbos to save one life. You want to give lives, fight a war? A war. Nowadays, a war, never mind, you're not allowed to fight. You want to fight a war. It's worth it. You think it's great. You're bragging. Because what did they get? Shabbos, no. Is it a mitzvah d'oraisa or d'rabbanan to have the kaisa, which, by the way, they were able to get before the Zionists came. They were able to go there only after the Zionists came there. But and they're proud of this. Their basic olam hazeh they give up, both olam hazeh and olam haba. And for what? For what? It's crazy.
In order to get power, in order to get money, this is it's the avodah zarah. They want to live this life like, gain money, chol v'shato, because tomorrow we go away. So this is what they do. They only care about this right and more, what we gain, how much we gain more, because the end of the bottom line, everything they do, it's in order to gain money and power. That's not really, the ideology is not according to the Torah. It's only to fulfill their needs. It's not in order to really, they don't care about the person. They don't care about, they can live in there are a couple of people in the, from, means of the national religious to say, how come they ask those questions to those rabbis? You say, how come, we need to, how come you tell people to say, go to this, how do you say, go to jail, the army jail, don't do, if you, how do you say, you, מסרב פקודה. It's like there's an order from the army, and then you say, you don't do it and go to the jail, even if they say. So one of the persons from the national will say, how come you're telling my sons to go to jail in order for your ideology, in order to, just tell my son, don't go to the army. How come you telling go to the army, and then you say to be Mesaref Kuda? It's just tell him don't go to the army, and that's it. Right. Why does he need to go this kind of go to the jail and start to suffer?
Disobey orders.
Yes, it's very all kind of things that are, it's davar v'hipucho.
Yeah.
So Baruch Hashem, the book is about this is the book, by the way, Gvul Ahar. It's it's printed, Baruch Hashem, and there are a couple of more books that I am about to publish. Now it's Arichat Toranit. It's Yelkut Ishbat Etchem Chachmei Morocco, and afterwards is going to be Yelkut Ishbat only of Chachmei Teiman, Yemenites rabbis. And I hope also to do the volume of the Khatam Sofer. Besides, I have more contrastim, and Baruch Hashem, I hope to publish everything and print it out. In a couple of days, going to be, like you say, contrast about the Ben Ish Chai and his Talmidim, about Zeras Galut and Shlosh Shvuot, their sayings about it. And Baruch Hashem, we hope to grow more and more, and we need the support of those who can help, in order to publish more and more and help more Jews to come over and listen to our teachings for the Torah, and so they know that the Torah and Zionism don't go together.
Getting Jews out of Zionism is not just Talmud Torah, it's not just Kiruv Rechokim, it's Pidyon Shvuyim.
Yes, it is. This is what I wrote down in the website. It's a Pidyon Shvuyim. Yes. I was there. I know what it is. So you need to be grateful for. I was out. I was אני יצאתי מהכלא, ברוך השם. I was השתחררתי, and I need to, if I can help more Jews to see the truth and see that that 1 + 1 is 2, and not 1 + 1 is 3, because there is only one truth. There can't be other truths. Like Rabbi Weizmann will say that there is only one truth. How come? Because 1 + 1 is 2.
Right.
Liars can say 1 + 1 is 3, it's 22, it's 11, it's all kind of other answer, but it's only can be 1 + 1, 2. This is a saying by Rabbi Weizmann there. So, Baruch Hashem, we need to spread out more and more books, to print them and send them out, outreach more and more people. Like I one day saw a contrast on this it's called Torah Galus, and I read it, and I say it's opened my eyes, and a lot of people more I can open the eyes of many other people, and Baruch Hashem, this is what I try to do, and Hashem is helping.
Beautiful.
He helped me, and Baruch Hashem, we can do much more.
Beautiful. Hashem should give you koyach and resources to do ever more and more.